Hey, it's the Midnight Round, and today we're doing episode 16 of the It's Not All Doom and Gloom podcast. If you're new to the podcast, I am the Midnight Raven. Today we are doing another 5 self-discovery journal prompts. If you are new to this podcast, please check out the other 15 episodes where we delve into a variety of questions concentrating on the past, the present, and the future in both my life and hopefully you participating and commenting down facts, information, and maybe a few secrets about your life. So we use the self-discovery journal prompt book that I have, and so far we have done 30 journal prompts out of 365. In each video we do 5 so that we don't get overwhelmed, and each episode is about 20 minutes long. So without any further ado, I am the Midnight Raven, and we are going to get into the first question of today's self-discovery. And today's first question is, what words of encouragement would you give to your future self? Okay, so encouragement to my future self. My future words of encouragement to my future self would be to try to be more positive. Now, I know you're going to say, but everybody has the iffy days of where they're negative and positive, and some days they're more positive than negative, and other days they're more negative and positive. I get that. For me, more days negative than positive. They just are. Whether it's my mental health, the weather, bills, life, everything just seems to be that bit more stressful for me. Now, I get that everybody has stress and everybody's living the COVID aftermath, the lockdown aftermath, the stress of having the recent Ukraine wars, the cost of living. I totally get that. For me, I haven't been a positive person for most of my life. I've always tried to be uplifted and positive and look to the future, but I've always got this also negative part of me that has to be real, that has to be realistic, that has to be like, look, life can't just be rosy all the time. As much as everybody says, Raven, why don't you smile more? Or Raven, why are you so negative? Because that's me being genuine. I am not a fake positive person. So my words of encouragement to myself would be, if that I am being negative, I'm being negative for a reason, not just to annoy people, not just to be the negative person in the room. It is just me. And I've always been negative. I've always seen the bad in everything. I always think of a worst case scenario. Call me the pessimist of the YouTube community. I always fear the worst. I always fear the badder things are going to happen, whether it's my mental health, my actual health, both which have come true. Bad things just surround me, and because bad things surround me, it gives me a negative view of just life itself. So words of encouragement to give to my future self would be to try to be more positive, but I also have to be a realist and a pessimist all rolled into one. I have to believe that things are going to be positive, but then on the flip side, I also have to see that the likelihood of everything always being positive isn't possible. So I'm a realist with a pessimist all rolled into one. And then nice, just to be a bundle of joy. So let me know what words of encouragement you would give your future self. Are they good? Are they bad? Are they indifferent? Let me know. Okay, question number 2. What would your dream home look like? Well, I live in a 2.4 exclusively small flat behind an industrial estate right now, so practically anywhere but here. Anywhere but here. My dream place My dream home would be by the coast. I do love the idea of having a coastal abode. Not necessarily right on the beach, but around the sea air, around the feel of being by the coast, the kind of freedom, maybe a bit more chilled. I mean, I live behind an industrial estate. You couldn't, and a truck yard, you couldn't get more intense at 4, 5, and 6 o'clock in the morning if I wanted to. There are trucks at 4 in the morning. There's a scaffolding yard at 6 in the morning. There's welding at the welding place with the VW camper vans from like 8 in the morning. It's a very noisy atmosphere. And I think being by the coast for me, the birds, the sea air, the calmness would just fill my heart with joy. Just being in calm. I personally would quite happily live in a camper van, a VW camper van, a static caravan. I quite happily just live in a caravan. I don't necessarily need a house or a 3-story apartment or a bungalow or a studio apartment. A caravan would do me. Just a caravan, a little camper van, travel the country, live in a camper van by the coast all year round. Live in an RV. I'd quite like the idea of that kind of nomadic life. Like I I I have that kind of adventurous spirit that's always been a little bit closed off because I do sometimes feel comfortable where I am and then it's not wanting to move from where I am. But I'm not happy in the house I live in right now. This doesn't make me happy. Um I feel stressed all the time. I'm sleep deprived all the time. And that's not because of the abode, that's because of other things going on in my life. But when you have such a stressful life and everything annoys you. The scaffolding people, the trucks in the morning. I don't like where I live. And that's not necessarily because the place is bad or anything. I think it's just more the stress and everything that comes with me. And then you just look at everything and you're like, well, I just hate everything. Um, but my dream house, I think, would be a caravan. I quite happily just live in a caravan or a camper van, Winnebago, RV, just by the coast to hear the seagulls and the waves. A bit of calm, serene. I know the seaside towns are quite busy during the summer, but in the winter and the autumn and the spring, they can be beautiful places that are just calm and serene and just everybody going about their days. And oh, it would be nice. It would be nice just to have that little bit of extra calm within my life. But that's where I would like to live. What about you guys? Where would you like to live? Where's your ideal home and what does it look like? Okay, question number 3 today. What kind of people would you want to surround yourself with? Ooh, well, I've surrounded myself with a lot of people over my life, a lot of different types of people, some good, some not so good. I had a small circle of friends. If you go back through my life during high school, I had a very small circle of friends. I didn't feel back then I needed to have a big circle of friends. And in high school, having more friends was just more trouble. So I had a small circle of friends at high school, primary school, and all of that. In my adult life, once I left high school, I still kept a small circle of friends. And as the years have gone on, my friend circle has got smaller. I've lost contact with people, they've moved away, they've had kids, they've had other lives, the same with me. I do miss some of my old friends that I've been disconnected from. And over the years, we've reconnected, disconnected. The kind of people I'd surround myself with now would be people who are loyal, respectful, understand who I am, appreciate what I'm going through at the minute with my mental health and that. I do have a select few friends that are very understanding that I don't always go out all the time. I'm not always available. I don't always want to talk or hang out. I have good days and bad days, and that's the kind of people you want to surround yourself with. The people that understand you, the people that don't necessarily judge you, the people who want the best for you, the people that are there if you need them, but when you don't need them and you need a bit of a break and a step back from them, they totally understand. They're the kind of people I have around me. There are people that I message every day. There are people that I only speak to a couple of times a month, but they're still there. Um, do I wish I'd surround myself with more people? Would be another question. I do feel sometimes I wish I had more friends, but then having more friends always comes with more problems, and it's getting those people to understand who you are and everything. And it could be quite tiring and exhausting to find those right people for you, because there's so many people nowadays and varied lifestyles and varied jobs and various families. The whole 2.4 family thing doesn't exist anymore. The husband and wife with the 2 kids or the 3 kids. The working life has changed. People work erratic hours, erratic days. Trying to meet up with somebody can take weeks or months just to get a time when you were both are free. But yeah, I would surround myself with positive, loyal, respectful, understanding people. And I think we all need some respectful, understanding people within our lives. Let me know what kind of people you surround yourselves with. Um, what kind of people did you used to surround yourself with, and have you learnt from that? Have you brought yourself into a new set of people for any particular reason? Let me know in the comments below. Share your experiences of what kind of people you want to surround yourself with, because there are a lot of negative people in the world. There are a lot of people that don't necessarily understand me. And there are people I've had in my life fallen out with, and I totally get why they fell out with me, and I understand. But I do miss them. So, okay. Question number 4. We're going through these quite well today. Question number 4 is what distractions are hurting your productivity? What distractions are hurting your productivity? Well, I think the elephant in the room for this one would be what distractions are hurting my productivity is my health, being mental or physical. I have, although it looks like I do a lot of YouTube work, I really don't. I spend maybe an hour a day dedicated to YouTube, and the rest of the time is dedicated to my mental health and my well-being. And sometimes I do find that my mental health is distracting me from being productive, getting on with stuff, getting out there, doing things. And the same with my physical health. I still haven't done an update yet, but I will do on my mental health and physical health. I have another appointment this week, that is all. I am kind of waiting for that appointment first. But the mental health has put, I don't want to call it a barrier to me doing stuff, but it has slowed my productivity, it's slowed my motivation, it's made me more distracted, it's made me more negative, like why am I even doing YouTube, who cares, what am I getting out of this, why am I bothering, and I kind of talk myself out of doing stuff. I have done more YouTube stuff recently. I do have a backlog of videos that I am getting through, editing and uploading. My distractions also hurting my productivity is getting back to work. With how bad my mental health is and how bad my physical health is at the minute, video will come out soon about that. I have some health issues that are causing problems. I have mental health issues that are causing problems. And between the two of them, they put a lot of strain on me. I am quite tired all the time. I feel drained, which impedes on feeling motivated. And the less motivated you are, the less productive you are. And you're always trying to talk yourself into being more productive. Like, come on, it'll take you 5 minutes, or If you do it today, it'll be done. And it's always like trying to talk yourself into stuff, where the mental health part comes in, of the mental health being the barrier to your productivity, the barrier to you getting out there and doing stuff. And it's not that you don't want to do the stuff, but it's hurting my productivity. It's it's stopping me. And that is the bane of mental health. You are fine one day, and I could be doing lots of stuff for YouTube, and the next day I don't even want to get out of bed. I'm so down and defeated that I have to pull myself back up again and start from scratch. And it's like a constant battle to be productive over being distracted by my mental health, by bills, by something else in my life. And um, it's a shame, because when I'm productive, I'm really good. Obviously, I used to have a job. Obviously, if you have watched my channel before, you know my store closed. I then lost my job. I've been on mental health for the last 7 months, and I've now got some physical issues which are causing me problems too. It's a knock-on effect. One goes, the other goes, supposedly. But while I get both of them into some kind of balance, the productivity, the motivation has all dropped. The same as we discussed earlier, the negativity and everything else, and being positive. I'm just feeling defeated. Although I haven't lost yet, I'm still like trying to get my productivity back. I do feel days where I do feel stuck. I feel behind a barrier of lack of motivation or a lack of positivity, and it sucks. It really does. It sucks. But I can only keep pushing and hope that I can get myself through all of that. So let me know what distractions are hurting your productivity. What's stopping you from doing the stuff you need to do? And the last question today: what limiting beliefs do you need to let go of? Ooh, we're delving into it today, aren't we? What limiting beliefs do you need to let go of? Limiting beliefs. I want to let go of the fact that I don't think I'm good enough. I have always pushed myself, whether it comes to dating, work. I've always pushed myself probably beyond beyond what I needed to. I don't have much belief in myself. If you want to say about limiting beliefs that I need to let go of, I don't believe in myself very much. I'm I'm a doer and I get stuff done, but I don't believe that my work is ever good enough. I am constantly pushing myself. You can ask my friends at work. Nothing was ever good enough for myself. I would do something really good, like a display or something, and I would still be second guessing myself, going, I can do this better. Just give me a minute, I'll rework it. And it was perfect as it was. But I was still believing that I wasn't good enough. And the same in relationships. In relationships over the year, I've been in really long-term relationships, and I always believed that I wasn't good enough for the person I was dating. I always believed that they could do better, that I wasn't good enough, and that I could do better and I could be a better person, and if I was a better person, we'd be better as a couple. And I would push myself to be better. So the limiting beliefs that I need to let go of is that I am good. I don't need to just push myself until I break, because I am good enough for me. I am good enough for somebody else. I am good enough at my job. And if I could only just see that and realize that, I could let go of this limiting belief that I'm just not good enough for anyone. And it's a horrible feeling to feel that you're not good enough for somebody else, like a partner. You're not good enough for a job that you love. Um, and I've been in some really dark places, believing that I just, I don't deserve the person I'm dating. I don't deserve the job I have. The amount of work I put into everything I do sometimes is probably tenfold. It's probably more than it needs to be. And I will still sit there and say that I'm sure I could do more. I'm sure I could do better. Just give me the chance. Give me a minute. Let me think about it. I can be better than I am. So I limit myself by constantly saying, you can do better, you can do better, you're better than this, you can get better than this. Push yourself, push yourself. And I push myself to breaking point, which is why at Christmas, as some people might know on the channel, I had a breakdown because I was putting so much pressure on myself to be me and to be better and to be even better than I was at my job, although I was brilliant. I was probably the most hardest working person you'll ever meet. I had so many good ideas and I was well respected. And I was well respected when I had my partner. I mean, we were together for many, many years. I've always been in long term relationships. I've always put 110% into every relationship I've ever had. And even then, I still believe that's not enough. And I still to this day do not believe that I am good enough for anybody, and I still don't believe I'm good at my job. I will still keep pushing myself till I break. And that is why I had a mental breakdown at Christmas. That's why I have deteriorated in my mental health, believing that I am not good enough and that I can do better. And it's a slippery slope from there, where my mental health has deteriorated. And I now receive counselling, which isn't a bad thing. Don't let anybody tell you that counselling is bad or, it's just talking to some quack. It is just talking to some quack, but you will learn a lot about yourself. And these self-help journal prompts really help me to unlock questions, answers, concerns, and sometimes it makes me question things that I never would have asked without this book. So they were the questions for today. We're just going to run through what the questions were. So question 1 was, what words of encouragement would you give to your future self? Question 2 was, what would your dream home look like? Question 3 was, what kinds of people would you want to surround yourself with? Question 4 was, what distractions are hurting your productivity? And question 5 is, what limiting beliefs do you need to let go of? I think we've had a positive, uplifting, somewhat negative podcast today. This is episode 16 of the It's Not All Doom and Gloom, as I will keep telling you. Sometimes you have to have the doom and gloom, but it can't be doom and gloom all the time. So if you'd like to support this podcast, please share it out. Give it a big thumbs up. Support the channel if you so wish. PayPal, Super Chat and Super Thanks are all much appreciated. It just does take time and effort, and it can take a lot out of me to do these podcasts, but I love doing them. If you'd like to leave some of your answers down below, I would love to hear them. And if you'd love to give me some advice as well, please do so. I know I have a counsellor, but they can't be right all the time. Sometimes you do need a kind of middle of the road, third person to give you some advice. So I am open to all advice. And I will see you all very soon for another episode of the It's Not All Doom podcast. Love you all. Bye, guys.